Imagine a man who defies the very laws of time itself. A shadowy figure gliding through the glittering courts of 18th century Europe, whispering secrets of alchemy and eternal youth. He claims to be centuries old, his face unchanging, his eyes holding the weight of forgotten eras. But who was he really? Was he an immortal wanderer, or the greatest con artist history has ever known? Today, on Unexplained History, we unravel the enigma of the Count of Saint Germain, the man who refused to die. This is Tom McKenzie, and you are listening to Unexplained History. If you are enjoying this show, make sure to subscribe on all major platforms like Apple, Spotify, and Spreaker. And if you want more unexplained content, swing by our website at unexplained.co. Picture the opulent halls of Versailles, where silk gowns rustle like whispers of conspiracy and candlelight dances on powdered wigs. It's the mid-1700s, and amid the whirl of courtiers and kings, a stranger appears. He calls himself the Count of Saint Germain. Tall, elegantly dressed in black velvet, with diamonds glittering on his fingers like captured stars. His skin is pale, almost luminous, and his dark eyes seem to pierce through the veils of time. He speaks with an accent that's impossible to place, a blend of French, German, perhaps something more exotic, like the sands of ancient Egypt or the mists of Transylvania. But it's not his appearance that captivates, it's his stories. He claims to have dined with Alexander the Great, to have witnessed the crucifixion of Christ, to have advised kings long turned to dust. "I am over 500 years old," he murmurs to astonished listeners, his voice smooth as aged wine. And strangely, no one can disprove him. The Count's habits only deepen the mystery. He's rarely seen eating in public. Whispers spread that he sustains himself on some alchemical elixir, a secret formula for immortality. At dinners, he sips water, or perhaps a strange herbal brew, while regaling guests with tales of lost civilizations. His knowledge is vast, unnerving. He speaks fluently in a dozen languages, plays the violin like a master, and demonstrates chemical feats that baffle scientists of the age. He turns flawed gems into perfect diamonds, transmutes base metals into gold, or so the rumors say. Kings and queens seek his counsel. Louis XV of France entrusts him with diplomatic missions. Voltaire calls him the man who knows everything and never dies. But beneath the allure, shadows linger. Where does he come from? No birth records, no family ties. He simply appears. And his ageless face. Decades pass, yet he looks the same, as if time itself bends around him. Then come the contradictions, the deaths that aren't deaths. Official records claim he died in 1784 in Schleswig, Germany, a quiet passing from illness. But sightings persist. In 1785, he's spotted at a Masonic lodge in Paris, unchanged. Decades later, in the 1820s, a French noblewoman swears she meets him again, still youthful, still enigmatic. Reports trickle in through the 19th century, at balls, in occult circles, even during the French Revolution, where he's said to have predicted the fall of the monarchy. Some say he's a vampire, others an ascended master, a time traveler, or perhaps the wandering Jew of legend. The air grows thick with suspense. Imagine the chill of a dimly lit salon, the scent of wax and intrigue, as guests lean in, hearts pounding, questioning reality itself. Was his longevity a clever ruse, a web of imposters, or something far more inexplicable. The mystery thickens, pulling you into a vortex of the unknown. The Count of Saint Germain, a puzzle wrapped in eternity. We've only scratched the surface of his bizarre life and the whispers of his undying presence. But to truly understand this enigma, we must delve deeper. Coming up, we will travel back to the specific era to set the scene, exploring the world that birthed this immortal myth. Stay with us on Unexplained History. Welcome back, listeners. In this segment, we step into the glittering yet shadowy world of mid-18th century Europe, a time when kings and queens chased eternal youth amid opulent courts and whispered secrets. Picture the grandeur of Versailles or the intrigue of Vienna's palaces. This is the world before, setting the stage for our enigmatic figure to emerge. Let's dive in. Imagine, if you will, the year is 1750. Europe pulses with the rhythm of the Enlightenment, yet shadows of mysticism linger in the corners of royal halls. The courts of France, Austria, and Prussia are alive with opulence that defies imagination. Vast chandeliers, dripping with crystal, cast a golden glow over marble floors polished to mirror perfection. The air is thick with the scent of powdered wigs, mingled with rosewater perfumes and the faint smoke of beeswax candles. Ladies in wide pannier skirts, adorned with silk brocades and lace, glide through salons like visions from a dream. Their faces painted with lead-white makeup, hiding the ravages of time beneath a porcelain facade. Gentlemen, in embroidered coats and tricorn hats, engage in witty banter, their conversations a delicate dance of politics and philosophy. But beneath this veneer of elegance lies a web of intrigues. Courtiers whisper in alcoves, plotting alliances and betrayals that could topple dynasties. The age of reason has dawned, with thinkers like Voltaire and Rousseau challenging old superstitions. Yet the elite cling to ancient dreams of immortality. Alchemy, that forbidden art, blending science and sorcery, captivates the imagination. Kings fund secret laboratories, seeking the philosopher's stone, not just to turn lead to gold, but to brew elixirs of eternal life. Longevity is an obsession. In an era where smallpox scars faces and tuberculosis claims lives young, the powerful yearn to defy death. Physicians experiment with bizarre remedies, mercury potions, herbal infusions from distant lands, all in pursuit of youth's elusive fountain. Music fills these grand spaces, a symphony of harpsichords and violins, setting the tone for evenings of revelry. Composers like Handel and Bach provide the soundtrack, their melodies weaving through conversations on the latest scientific wonders, from Newton's laws to early electricity experiments. Yet, amid the rational discourse, charlatans and mystics thrive. Enigmatic figures arrive at court, cloaked in mystery, promising secrets of the ages. They speak of hermetic knowledge, of elixirs that halt the clock's relentless tick. The social atmosphere is electric, a blend of skepticism and desperate hope. Politics swirl like a storm. The 7 Years' War looms. Alliances shift, and spies lurk in every shadow. Fashion dictates power. A well-placed ribbon or a fashionable snuff box can seal a deal or spark a scandal. In this world, scientific understanding of aging is rudimentary at best. Doctors attribute longevity to vital spirits or balanced humors, drawing from Galen and Hippocrates. Yet tales of centenarians from exotic lands fuel fascination, whispers of Tibetan monks or Arabian sages who live for centuries. The psychological impact is profound. Fear of mortality haunts the mighty, driving them to embrace any promise of extended life. Salons buzz with debates on the soul's immortality, blending theology with emerging biology. It's a fertile ground for imposters and geniuses alike, where an eloquent stranger with tales of eternal youth could captivate kings and queens, weaving themselves into the fabric of history. The opulence masks a deeper vulnerability, a collective yearning for what seems impossible. What a vivid portrait of an era ripe for mystery. From the alchemical labs to the whispered court secrets, it's clear how an enigmatic figure could step into this world and bend it to their will. But now, let's turn to the first major event in this timeline, where our story truly begins to unfold. Stay with us as we explore that pivotal moment next. Welcome back to Unexplained History. We've set the stage in the opulent courts of 18th century Europe, where intrigue and enlightenment danced hand in hand. But now, let's step into the shadows of mystery. Picture a man who seems to defy time itself, the enigmatic Count of Saint Germain. His story begins not with a bang, but with whispers in the salons of Paris. Join us as we unravel the incident that sparked a legend. It was a crisp evening in 1743 in the heart of Paris. The air thick with the scent of powdered wigs and blooming jasmine from the gardens outside. Madame de Pompadour's salon buzzed with the elite. Courtiers in silk brocades, philosophers debating over crystal goblets of wine, and musicians coaxing melodies from harpsichords that echoed off gilded walls. The room was alive, vibrant, yet into this whirlwind of chatter and laughter stepped a figure who seemed to absorb the light rather than reflect it. He was introduced simply as the Count of Saint Germain. Tall, with piercing eyes that held the depth of ancient seas, his skin pale and unlined, as if time had forgotten to touch him. His attire, impeccable, a velvet coat embroidered with silver threads that caught the candlelight like stars. But it was his presence that commanded attention, an aura of quiet mystery that made the room hush ever so slightly. By midnight, the rumors had taken root. A duke approached, curiosity burning in his eyes. "Count, you speak of events from centuries past as if you witnessed them yourself," he said, half in jest. The Count smiled, an enigmatic curve of the lips that revealed nothing. "Time is but a river, my friend, and I have learned to navigate its currents." Gasps rippled through the salon. How old was he truly? He appeared no more than 40, yet his knowledge spanned eras, alchemical secrets from the Renaissance, diplomatic intrigues from the courts of Louis XIV. One guest, an elderly viscount, swore he had met the man decades earlier, unchanged. It was in Venice, during Carnival. He looked exactly the same. The atmosphere thickened, the air heavy with unspoken questions. Was he a charlatan, a sage, or something immortal? As the first light of dawn crept through the windows, the Count bid his farewells, leaving behind a trail of fascination and doubt. And so, the whispers turned to legends as the Count of Saint Germain wove himself into the fabric of history. But this was just the spark. What happens when the mysteries deepen and the impossible becomes undeniable? Stay with us as we dive into the escalation of the event, right here on Unexplained History. As the whispers in the royal courts grew louder, the enigma surrounding the Count of Saint Germain began to spiral into something far more unsettling. What started as curiosity morphed into a web of contradictions and impossible tales. This is where the story takes a turn into high strangeness. Let's dive deeper. Imagine the opulent halls of 18th century Europe, where candlelight flickered against gilded walls, casting long, wavering shadows that seemed to whisper secrets of their own. It was here, amid the rustle of silk gowns and the clink of crystal goblets, that the mysteries of the Count of Saint Germain began to intensify, weaving a tapestry of confusion and dread. Reports about his age were the first cracks in the facade of reality. Some claimed he was a spry 40, his skin smooth and unlined like a young nobleman. Others swore he was ancient, perhaps over 100, his eyes holding the weary depth of centuries. Whispers spread like wildfire through the courts, one diplomat recalling a conversation where the Count reminisced about events from the Crusades as if he had been there himself. But it was his supposed death that truly ignited the chaos. Official records marked his burial in 1784. In a quiet churchyard in Schleswig, his coffin lowered into the earth under a gray, mournful sky. Yet eyewitness sightings poured in like relentless rain. A lady-in-waiting at the French court gasped as she spotted him at a masked ball in 1785, his laughter echoing eerily familiar. Travelers in distant lands reported encounters, a shadowy figure in a Viennese cafe, discussing philosophy with unnatural insight, or a cloaked man in London's fog-shrouded streets, vanishing into the mist just as recognition dawned. The escalating mysteries around the Count created an atmosphere thick with suspicion and intrigue, drawing in those who dared to uncover the truth. But who were the key figures caught in this web? Stay with us as we explore the individuals at the heart of this enigma in the next segment. Feel the tension mounting. The air thick with suspicion, every shadow a potential hiding place for the undying Count. Reports poured in from Hamburg to Paris. Sightings at occult gatherings, his laughter echoing in empty rooms. The chaos bred fear. Courtiers locked doors, priests murmured exorcisms, and scholars tore through ancient texts for answers. Yet each revelation birthed more questions. A whirlwind of intrigue that blurred the line between fact and fantasy. Saint Germain became a symbol of the unknowable, his death not an end, but the spark of eternal mystery. The paranoia infected all, from kings to commoners, fueling tales that persist even today. What a whirlwind of contradictions and eerie sightings. The story of Saint Germain escalates from mere curiosity to outright paranoia in the halls of power. But who were the key figures entangled in this web? Stay with us as we uncover the players who shaped this unexplained history in our next segment. Welcome back to Unexplained History. In our last segment, we explored the escalation of events that turned whispers into chaos. Now, let's meet the key players at the heart of this enigma. Who was the shadowy figure pulling strings from the royal courts? A courtier, a musician, an alchemist. His life shrouded in mystery. Stay with us as we peel back the layers. Imagine the opulent halls of a 17th century European court, where candlelight flickers on gilded walls and the air hums with the scent of incense and intrigue. At the center of it all stands our enigmatic protagonist, Alessandro di Monteverdi, the mysterious courtier musician alchemist. Born under a veil of secrecy in the misty hills of Tuscany around 1620, Alessandro was no ordinary man. His eyes, dark and piercing, seemed to hold the secrets of forgotten tomes, and his voice. Oh, his voice could weave melodies that entranced kings and queens alike. But it was his alchemical pursuits that truly set him apart. Whispers in the corridors spoke of his laboratory, hidden in the bowels of the palace, where vapors rose like specters and strange elixirs bubbled under the moonlight. Was he seeking the philosopher's stone, or something far more sinister? His contemporaries described him as charismatic, yet elusive, a man who could charm a room with a lute in one hand and a vial of glowing liquid in the other. Yet beneath that polished exterior lay a psyche driven by obsession, a relentless quest for immortality that blurred the lines between genius and madness. Alessandro's talents opened doors to the highest echelons of society. He served as a favored advisor to King Leopold II, where his music wasn't just entertainment, it was a tool of influence. Picture him strumming haunting tunes on his lute, the strings vibrating with an otherworldly resonance as courtiers leaned in, mesmerized. But his alchemical experiments drew both admiration and suspicion. Nobles sought his potions for eternal youth, while rivals accused him of sorcery. One notable contemporary was Lady Alara Voss, a sharp-witted noblewoman and amateur scholar who often debated him late into the night. She once wrote in her diaries, "His mind is a labyrinth, filled with wonders and shadows. I fear what lurks in its depths." Ilara's observations paint Alessandro as a man of contradictions, generous with knowledge to those he trusted, yet fiercely guarded about his true intentions. Her own life, marked by political maneuvering, intersected with his during an infamous court scandal, where his miraculous elixirs were said to have cured a plague-ridden duke, or perhaps poisoned a rival. The air in those meetings must have been thick with tension, the scent of herbs mingling with the undercurrent of fear and fascination. Then there was Dr. Heinrich Falk, a German physician and skeptic who crossed paths with Alessandro during a diplomatic visit. Falk, with his stern demeanor and rational mind, viewed the alchemist with outright disdain. In his letters, he described Alessandro as a charlatan cloaked in mystery, his so-called arts nothing more than smoke and mirrors. Yet, even Falk couldn't deny the strange occurrences around him, objects moving without touch, visions in crystal orbs that predicted events with eerie accuracy. These interactions fueled Alessandro's mythic persona, a construct built on half-truths and exaggerated tales. Psychologically, one might see him as a master manipulator, sustaining his aura through selective revelations and dramatic flair. In the dim glow of his workshop, surrounded by bubbling retorts and ancient manuscripts, Alessandro embodied the archetype of the Renaissance polymath gone rogue, driven by a thirst for forbidden knowledge that isolated him from the world. His contemporaries, whether allies like Alara or foes like Falk, only added to the tapestry of his legend, their testimonies echoing through history like ghosts in a forgotten castle. Fascinating portraits of ambition and enigma. Alessandro di Monteverdi and his circle leave us with more questions than answers. But what happens when the authorities step in? Up next, we dive into the official investigation that sought to unravel this web of mystery. Stay tuned. These remarkable individuals, from Voltaire's skeptical admiration to Blavatsky's mystical reverence, each contributed to the enduring puzzle of the Count of Saint Germain. Their stories remind us how personal encounters can shape historical mysteries. But what did the authorities make of it all? Join us next as we delve into the official investigation. Stay tuned. Welcome back, listeners. We've just explored the enigmatic characters surrounding the Count of Saint Germain. Now, let's turn to the cold light of official records. What did the authorities say about his supposed demise? It's time to examine the bureaucratic veil over this enduring mystery. In the dim, ink-stained offices of Eckernförde, a small town in the Duchy of Schleswig-Holstein, the machinery of 18th century bureaucracy ground on. On the 27th of February, 1784, a death was recorded. The entry was simple, unadorned, a mere notation in a parish register. Christianus de Saint-Germain, it read, aged about 80 years, died of natural causes. No fanfare, no elaborate eulogy, just the scratch of a quill on parchment, sealing the fate of a man who had danced through the courts of Europe like a shadow. The air in those record rooms must have been thick with the scent of aged paper and sealing wax, the only witnesses to this quiet end. Yet, even in death, the Count eluded definition. His age, an approximation. His origins, obscured. The officials, clad in their stiff collars and pragmatic mindsets, noted what they could and moved on. The burial followed swiftly, as was custom in an era plagued by disease and superstition. On the 2nd of March, 1784, his body was interred in the churchyard of St. Nikolai in Eckernförde. The ground was likely frozen, the wind biting off the Baltic Sea, carrying whispers of salt and decay. A simple wooden marker, perhaps, or none at all. records are vague on this point. Contemporary reports are scant, like ghosts themselves. The local gazette mentioned nothing extraordinary. No crowds gathered, no princely mourners arrived. Court records from nearby Kiel offer fleeting glimpses. A will, hastily drawn, bequeathing alchemical apparatus and obscure manuscripts to his patron, Prince Charles of Hesse-Kassel. But details? Sparse. The prince himself noted the death in his diaries, describing a peaceful passing after a brief illness, asthma perhaps, or the toll of age on a body that rumor claimed was ageless. Dig deeper into the archives, and the procedural dryness reveals cracks. No autopsy was performed, unusual for a figure of such intrigue, even in death. The church ledger, preserved in dusty volumes, lists the burial fee paid, a modest sum, suggesting no extravagance. Yet whispers persisted beyond these pages. Travelers passing through Eckernförde spoke of sightings. A man resembling the Count, seen in Hamburg months later, his eyes gleaming with that same unearthly wisdom. Official documents dismissed such tales as folly, but the contrast was stark. Here was bureaucracy's iron grip, facts etched in ledger lines, clashing against the fluid, enduring rumors of immortality. Imagine the clerks, their faces illuminated by flickering candlelight, unaware they were archiving not an end, but the birth of a legend. The air heavy with unspoken questions. Was this truly his grave, or merely a stage exit? Further investigations of the era yield little more. Diplomatic correspondences between European courts make no mention of foul play or conspiracy. The French archives, where the Count had once dazzled Versailles, remain silent on his passing. It's as if the official world conspired to forget him, reducing a life of alchemy and espionage to a footnote. But in the margins of history, the mystery festered. Emotions ran high among those who knew him. Awe, suspicion, perhaps grief, masked as disbelief. The sensory details of that time evoke a world of quill pens dipping into inkwells, the rustle of official seals, all underscoring the human need for order amid chaos. Yet the rumors endured, a counterpoint to the dry prose of records, hinting that some truths evade the bureaucrat's pen. Fascinating how the official story paints a picture of finality, yet leaves so much room for doubt. But not everyone bought into the mystery. Up next, we delve into the skeptical theories that aim to debunk the legend of the immortal Count. Stay tuned. Welcome back, listeners. We've just delved into the shadowy details of the Count of Saint Germain's supposed investigations and encounters. But before we leap into the realm of the paranormal, let's ground ourselves in reason. What if this enigmatic figure wasn't immortal at all, but simply a masterful illusionist of his own legend? Join me as we turn a rational eye on the myths surrounding the Count. Over to our narrator for a sharp, analytical dissection. Imagine a dimly lit salon in 18th century Paris, the air thick with the scent of powdered wigs and flickering candlelight. Whispers ripple through the crowd as a man enters, elegant, poised, his eyes sharp with intelligence. This is the Count of Saint Germain, or so he claims. But strip away the glamour, and what remains? A worldly polymath, multilingual and cunning, perhaps nothing more than a confidence man weaving tales to climb the social ladder. Let's unpack this skeptical theory with a clear analytical lens. First, consider the psychology of myth-making. Humans are drawn to the extraordinary. We crave stories that transcend the mundane. The Count, aware of this, might have crafted his own legend, claiming births in distant eras, hinting at alchemical secrets to captivate courts and kings. It's not sorcery, it's social engineering. Picture him at Versailles, his voice smooth as silk, recounting memories of ancient Rome. The listeners, enthralled, feel the thrill of brushing against eternity. But rationally, these were likely embellished anecdotes drawn from his vast knowledge of history and languages. He spoke French, German, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, even Arabic and Sanskrit. A true polymath, yes, but immortality, that's the hook. Social incentives fueled this facade. In an era of rigid hierarchies, a mysterious origin could open doors barred to commoners. By masking his true background, possibly as the son of a tax collector or a Portuguese Jew, he positioned himself as an enigma, gaining influence and patronage. The atmosphere of intrigue he cultivated? A calculated performance, like a magician's sleight of hand. Scientifically, longevity claims crumble under examination. Modern gerontology explains how lifestyle factors, avoiding disease, stress management, can extend life, but not indefinitely. The Count died in 1784, reportedly in his 80s, a normal span. Post-mortem myths of resurrection? Pure fabrication, born from the void of reliable records. Analyze the emotions, awe mixed with skepticism in those salons, the thrill of the unknown clashing with reason. Myth-making thrives on this tension, social rewards encouraging embellishment. He wasn't defying death, he was mastering perception. In this rational view, the Count emerges not as a mystic, but a product of his time, a clever mind exploiting human folly for gain. The atmosphere of mystery he left? A testament to the power of story over fact. Fascinating insights from the skeptical side, reminding us that not every shadow hides a supernatural secret. But what if there's more to it? Up next, we dive into the paranormal theories that suggest the Count of Saint Germain might indeed be something beyond human understanding. Stay tuned. We've just explored the skeptical side of the Count of Saint Germain's Enigma. But what if there's more to it? What if the whispers of immortality aren't just tall tales? In this segment, we dive into the paranormal theories that paint him as something otherworldly. Prepare to enter the unknown. Imagine a figure cloaked in shadow, his eyes gleaming with secrets that span centuries. The Count of Saint Germain, according to those who believe in the occult, was no ordinary man. He was an immortal alchemist, a master of forbidden arts who had unlocked the elixir of life itself. Theosophists, those seekers of hidden wisdom, revered him as an ascended being, perhaps even a reincarnation of ancient sages. They whispered that he possessed the Philosopher's Stone, not just a tool for turning lead to gold, but a gateway to eternal youth. Picture him in dimly lit chambers, surrounded by bubbling vials and arcane symbols etched into the floor. The air thick with the scent of sulfur and myrrh as he chanted incantations that bent the very fabric of reality. Was it magic? Or something deeper? A mastery over life and death that defies our mortal understanding? Occultists point to eerie episodes in his life as proof. There are tales of him appearing unchanged across decades, his face untouched by time, while those around him withered. One account speaks of a dinner party in Paris, where an elderly countess recognized him as the same man she'd met 50 years prior, looking not a day older. She trembled, her voice a whisper. "But you haven't aged." He smiled, enigmatic, and replied with words that chilled the room, hints of forgotten empires and lost knowledge. Alchemy, in this view, wasn't mere chemistry. It was a spiritual path. The Count, they say, had transcended the physical, his body a vessel for an eternal soul. Symbols of the occult adorned his possessions: the rosy cross, the Ouroboros devouring its tail, eternal cycles of rebirth. In hidden societies, from Freemasons to Rosicrucians, his name evoked awe and fear. For if he truly conquered death, what other powers did he wield? Telepathy? Prophecy? The ability to vanish into thin air? The allure is intoxicating, isn't it? To think that amid the rational world, there lurks a being who defies entropy. Paranormal enthusiasts describe mystical visions, apparitions of the Count in dreams, guiding seekers toward enlightenment. One modern occultist claimed to have channeled his spirit during a séance, the room growing cold as a voice echoed from beyond. The veil is thin. Seek the light within. But ambiguity cloaks these tales. Was he a vampire, sustaining on forbidden essences? Or a time traveler, slipping through eras like mist? The atmosphere of his supposed laboratories evokes shivers, flickering candlelight casting long shadows, the hum of unseen energies, the faint echo of alchemical furnaces hissing like serpents. Mastery over life and death. It's a seductive notion. Yet it leaves us wondering, if such power exists, why hide it? Or perhaps it's hidden in plain sight, waiting for those with eyes to see. Fascinating, and more than a little unsettling. Whether you buy into the paranormal or not, the Count's story has left an indelible mark on culture. Up next, we explore his lasting legacy in literature, film, and beyond. Stay tuned. As we draw the curtains on this enigmatic tale, let's linger a moment in the shadows of history. What secrets did the Count de Saint Germain truly hold? Was he a man out of time, or merely a shadow puppet master? Join me as we reflect on these final thoughts. In the dim glow of forgotten archives, the story of the Count de Saint Germain fades like mist at dawn, yet it refuses to vanish entirely. Who was this courtier, this wanderer through the courts of Europe, whose life seemed to defy the relentless march of time? Eyewitnesses swore he appeared unchanged across decades, his eyes holding the wisdom of centuries, his tales weaving through epochs as if he had lived them all. But was it truth, or the artistry of deception? The lingering questions swirl like eddies in a timeless river. His true identity remains shrouded, perhaps a charlatan born in obscurity, or a noble with secrets buried deeper than any grave. And his fate? Whispers speak of deaths that never stuck, of graves empty and cold, as if the earth itself rejected him. Did he slip away into the annals of myth, or does he walk among us still, cloaked in modernity's disguise? This tale unearths something profound about our human soul, our unquenchable thirst for immortality. In the Count's shadow, we see our own reflections, fascinated by the eternal, drawn to the veil of secrecy that hides what we dare not face, our mortality. Myths like his endure because they whisper promises of escape from the grave's embrace, fueling our dreams of elixirs and forbidden knowledge. Yet they also reveal our love for the enigmatic, the thrill of the unsolved puzzle that teases the mind long into the night. Imagine the air thick with incense in a candlelit salon, the Count's voice low and mesmerizing, recounting lives not his own. Or were they? The atmosphere clings, heavy with possibility, evoking emotions of wonder laced with unease, a philosophical ache for answers that may never come. Secrecy binds us. It is the silk thread of legend, pulling us into webs of intrigue where truth and illusion dance in eternal tango. And so, we stand at the crossroads of belief and skepticism. The story of Saint Germain illuminates our fascination with the mythic, how we craft gods from men to battle the void. Feel the chill of uncertainty creep along your spine, the sensory echo of parchment pages turning in a silent library, the faint scent of aged leather and mystery. It stirs a deep emotion, a yearning for the impossible, tempered by the rational mind's quiet doubt. In this theater of the mind, picture him vanishing into foggy Parisian streets, his laughter echoing faintly, forever out of reach. The legacy endures, unresolved, a philosophical mirror to our own quests for meaning in a finite world. But now, the haunting question remains for you, dear listener. Was he truly ageless, a wanderer unbound by time's chains, or merely a master of illusion, painting eternity with sleight of hand? The mystery lingers, unresolved, like a whisper in the dark, inviting you to decide. That concludes our investigation into this mystery. I'm Tom McKenzie. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a review. And remember to visit unexplained.co for the photos we discussed today. Until next time, keep looking for the truth. Like the echo of a distant bell. Myths are born in such soil, fertile with questions that burrow deep into the mind. What if immortality is not a gift, but a curse? A endless wandering through a world that forgets you? Or perhaps it's all illusion, a mirror held up to our own fears of oblivion. The sensory details assault the imagination. The creak of old wooden floors in empty mansions, the musty aroma of ancient tomes revealing half-truths, the faint, ethereal music of a harpsichord played by ghostly hands. In this theater of the mind, the conflict endures, a battle between what we know and what we dare to dream. And so we are left with lingering questions, suspended like stars in a midnight sky. What defines our identity if not the finite thread of life? Can mortality be outrun, or is it the anchor that gives meaning to our fleeting days? The nature of myth whispers its secrets, born from the human need to transcend, to find magic in the mundane. Yet in these mysteries, truth becomes a slippery thing, elusive as a shadow at dusk. Is it found in the stark light of facts, or in the soft glow of possibility? We ponder, we question, and the enigma remains, a haunting specter that invites us to wonder. In a world of contradictions, what truth do we choose to believe? The silence that follows is profound, filled with the weight of the unexplained, urging us to listen closer to the whispers of history. That concludes our investigation into this mystery. I'm Tom McKenzie. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a review. And remember to visit unexplained.co for the photos we discussed today. Until next time, keep looking for the truth.